Okay, so I tried to record a Substack Live of all of this and it didn't work. So here we are trying to do it again via a different method, Loom, which has also bugged out on me. So you know what? Technology just might not be my friend today. Any hoodles, what I wanted to talk about today and send to you all is I've been hanging out and working on Claude Code and Claude CoWork now for quite a while, and it's been such a game changer and so much fun, and I've really enjoyed it so much. And so one thing that I wanted to talk through is deliverables. So deliverables suck. I mean, I know that I hate making deliverables. I am a researcher. I have not a pinky bone of design inside of me. I am good at words. I'm not good at visualizations. I will write reports, but people don't want to just listen to or read reports. They want something that they can see. Like visualization is like really important, which is why we have deliverables like journey maps, like personas, all that jazz. And I've been working with a few clients recently, and we've gotten to the deliverable stage and they're like, yeah, we want more like dynamic deliverables. What do you think you can do with that? And I'm like, well, dynamic deliverables. I don't even like static deliverables. What am I going to do with dynamic deliverables? How am I going to do those? I'm not a designer. I don't know I'm not dynamic myself. I'm pretty static. So I wanted to play around with Claude CoWork in particular, and I'll do a more like detailed like walkthrough on how to do this if you are interested in doing that. But I just wanted to show you how cool this can be if you just play around with this. And the things that I'm showing you is this is very raw. Like this is not thought through. This is not like super prompt engineering, as you will see. It is just me playing around with it to see what comes out of it and how cool I think that is. So what I have done is I have two journey maps. It's one journey map, but in two different parts. And this is from a travel company that I worked at for a while ago, which is why I can share it. It no longer exists as a company. And so as you see here is like a bog standard like customer journey map, right? Like here's what's happening. Now here's the flow. And as you can see here, what we try to do is showcase like the decisions that people need to make, the back and forth that people need to like make, and how they might go back to the start, and how they might be like, oh, well, yeah, actually, like, I don't know if I'm going to choose this, or I don't know if I'm going to do that, or, oh, like, blah, blah, blah. We did our best. With what we had. Same with this. This is the other part of it, which showcases, you know, the stuff that you always see, like the goal, like the tasks, the pain points, the other tools, the quotes. Just a standard customer journey map. Nothing necessarily wrong with this, but I wanted to play around to see how I could make this better and more interesting for stakeholders. So I just put those two images in, all I did, and I am a huge fan of prompt engineering, and this is absolute garbage for a prompt, so please don't judge me. But because it's a really crappy prompt. But I said, how can we make this journey map about choosing tickets for travel more dynamic and expanded and have even more context for stakeholders making decisions across the product? And Claude, I call Claude a dude. He's a he for me. I don't know why, but Claude's Claude. And so Claude goes and says very kindly that I have very solid journey maps here, which thanks, Claude. My stakeholders don't think so, but Claude, you do. So cool. Yay. We have some solid journey maps. And Claude says, there are some really great ways that we can improve these despite them being so amazing. And I'm like, double-edged sword there, Claude. Not sure I believe you. So layering quant data, for sure, duh. Agreed. Add an emotional arc layer. God, that sounds great. Expand the backstage view. Yeah. Backstage sounds great. I love backstage. This turns out more into like a service blueprint, which takes so much time to do. Build out the channel dimensions. Not really sure what that means. Oh, showing all channels, mobile app, desktop, blah, 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 blah. And then segment the map by user type, opportunities, moments of truth. So make or break moments. And I'm just like, cool, all of them. Because that's what I say to Claude sometimes. And, you know, as I said, this isn't my best work with prompting, and Normally I would be a lot more clear with like exactly what I might want from Claude. However, I am super, like, I've not done this 1,000 times, so I'm just experimenting with it. So from my standpoint, like, prompting is less important when you're like really just throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks. So Claude asked me a few questions and I basically was like, just give me everything. And here's the journey map that we came up with. Let me put away all of this stuff. Okay. Okay, cool. Here's the new journey map. Already a bit better, right? So we have more going on. We have these moments of truth. Cool. We are able to showcase different users. So occasional users, first time, power user, all really great, all really helpful. So we're already starting to segment. We have more stuff here. We have the backstage here. We have some different channels. We have opportunities here, which look at impact and effort for opportunities, which is great. We've looked at the different pain points, our high, medium, low, right? So we're already like looking at, and like, is this the best picture here? Absolutely not. Is there really any emotion here? No, because I don't really know what this is doing, positive, neutral, and negative. I think we would have to really work on that, but that's okay. That's okay, because this is our starting point. And we could like, you know, take goals out of it, and we could say, okay, we only want to know the metrics, pain points, and opportunities. How cool is that? Oh no, I've done the opposite. We want everything. Okay, well, we'd have to work on that too. So we just want the metrics, pain points, and opportunities. But how cool. Like, we've made this already a little bit more interactive, a little bit better, right? For our stakeholders, just more dynamic. And so I went back to Claude and I was like, listen, Claude, this is great. This is great stuff. Well, no, first I told him that the filters weren't working and that he had to debug that. And I was like, well, I didn't say. Normally I'm very nice, but I've been like, I guess, less nice. So we fixed the filters, which you could see they were fixed. And then I said, okay, I want to make this even better, man. I want to make this better. Because if you take a look at the real journey, so real people doing real things, people never go straight through a journey. Like the journey map of like, I'm just going from this search to that search to this and that and buying it and da-da-da-da-da. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's idealistic. And we're trying to simplify these things because visually speaking, it's so much easier to create a visualization that is straightforward, that doesn't have all these loop-de-loops and all these different like outshoots and somebody's coming back to this later and la-di-da. Like, that's really hard to show. And not only that, but it takes a whole lot of time to show it, to like create something like that. So I was like, you know, Claude, I want to do that, right? I want to showcase what it really is like, that it's not straightforward. The real journey people go through in a realistic nature rather than idealistic. So again, not my best prompt engineering here, but just trying to get it out. And so, you know, Claude goes in and does some stuff. So, and he's like, that's one of the biggest limitations of traditional journey maps. And I'm like, yeah, Claude, it is. So I told him, again, I wanted everything. And we're going to go to our new journey map. Now, there's still things that need to be changed about this, and I did add in things, and I added in things live, because when I was doing the Substack Live, I was doing live stuff, and it was so fun and cool, and now that's all gone, but that's okay. So here we have 3 different journeys, essentially, that we can toggle through, but how cool is this? We are going through a journey. We're going back and forth. We are seeing what's happening at each stage. We are seeing how long the stages take. And we are seeing Sarah go on her booking odyssey, right? So Sarah's journey took 12 days, 7 sessions, and 5 backtrack loops. That is infinitely more interesting than what I showed you, than this. How cool is that? So there are things that we need to work out here, of course. And one thing that I wanted to work out is I couldn't go back and forth between the steps. So now that we've done some cool stuff here where we can go back and forth like on this timeline. But how cool is that we're in here? And so we're checking prices again on our phone at 7 a.m. That's a lot. The search, the goals, right? Where are those goals? The goals per each thing we have here in action. User has left the product. Here's a gap in the journey. And something that I wanted to say here that I had said before is this is a perfect place. So I'm gonna, since I did a few things live and I didn't, they're just live now. I don't want to like undo them, but I'll showcase this live is like, what are the opportunities during the times that the user has left the product, right? But we have these things, like these goals are changing, the metrics are changing, right? I'm not really sure exactly where we're getting these metrics. So of course, like some of these are made up. What I would highly recommend doing is giving it all the context that you have. So being able to filter or put in, any sort of data analytics. So this is a great way to cross collaborate and work with your data team to be like, okay, what can we put in here that would be relevant to this journey? And we have pain points that are happening here, opportunities that are happening at each one here, right? So how cool is that we're just like able to like go through and properly see this. And so let's look at Marcus, because Marcus had something interesting. So Marcus has this thing, which I didn't understand, and I would want to fix this because it's not really clear, where texted partner the options via WhatsApp, but it's still like, I don't know why we're like over here with that. I would think it would just be like a drop, kind of like we saw with Sarah. But again, we have the user has left the product. There's a gap in the journey. Interesting, right? So I would also make these rather than, so this is Lena, the Monday commute. Here, there we go. How cool is that? We had something in between things. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So there we go. Like we have this journey as well. And what I would do is, instead of making these like three, like Sarah's Booking Odyssey, I would like segment into different user types. And yeah, just segment into different user types, because I think that would be like infinitely more helpful. But something that I had started doing when I was on live, stop previewing this. Yeah, so as you see here, I said you can't go back to the previous thing without replaying it. And so we did that live. So what I had started to work with is on live, as I had said, I want to connect this directly to my product manager's work. How might we be able to do this? Don't build anything yet. Just give me some ideas, right? So link pain points and opportunities to the backlog, overlay roadmap status onto the map, pipe in live metrics from your analytics tool, support ticket data, integration with your PRD or spec process, sync with experiment results, flag impact when priorities shift. Okay, so let's see. The most practical starting point is starting with backlog linking, connecting pain points and opportunities to real tickets. I want to start with, yes, let's start with that. I don't have Jira, but like we use Jira. Let's see if this, like, one other thing that I just want to do once, I also want to do for the times that the user leaves the product in the journey, I want, oh damn, manual now, live later, because I don't have a Jira account. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, cool. So for the times the user leaves the product in the journey, I want to highlight or show potential opportunities to keep the user in the product or improve their experience whenever possible. Sorry, I'm just looking at the time because I have to go soon. So here we go. We are starting with the Jira stuff, which is great. And then I will queue up this. So we'll put that in the queue. So like, isn't this cool? Like, I find this like so interesting. Like, how dynamic can we make this stuff? So dynamic. Like, it's so interesting. It's so cool. And like, I just like, for me, like, we could just keep building on this, like, and getting our stakeholders like feedback on it and being like, okay, what's helpful, what's not helpful, and like just creating this kind of stuff that then becomes like imagine what you could potentially do with personas as well, like in terms of making those more like more interactive, more actionable. I also wanted to show this because it asked me for like some different ways of showcasing like the booking funnel, and it's like not ideal because like it's a really crappy image actually. Yeah, it's like a really bad image, but like, you know, it's like, but this is the point. It's like throwing all this stuff at the wall to see like what sticks and what works. And like the, for me, like the animated kind of like version of this is like super interesting because we can start to like drill down into things and see people's like true journeys. And I think something else that would be cool would be being able to like link this up with like evidence. So like clips, for instance. So any kind of like, yeah, video clips or anything of the sort, you know, beyond just the user quotes that we have in here. Because I know that we have that. And like, what also would be nice would be to pull out, you know, how this has other tools. Like I would like to like highlight where people are like going to other tools or going to like competitors. I think that would be like quite interesting as well. Okay, cool. Where's my queue? Hello? Okay, we've just lost the queue. And now we have integrated with Jira on every pain point and opportunity. So let's play this journey and let's pause. Oh, that's fucking cool. That's kind of cool. Oh my God, is it? Oh, I thought that I was gonna like make something. I wonder if I can like and do that. Okay, let's try this. Hold on. Okay, so I tried and it's just sent me, it's like blocked me from myself, but that's fine. So what we have here is we are missing my, I'm so sad, we're missing my queue. Where did my queue go? Okay. Oh, here. Weird. It got like placed in the middle. So as I said, I wanted to like showcase some potential opportunities. But let me just get out of here. But how cool is it now that we've linked these, no ticket, and like what I would want to be able to do. So what I would tell Claude to do is like, I want to be able to click on this and have a ticket created based on that. Right. Oh, oh my God, it's because Claude already did it and I'm just like yelling at it. Let's look at Marcus's journey and see if we did it for Marcus. We did. External detour. Some of the language, I'm like, what is going on here? Oh my gosh, I have to go. Okay, so vis-a-vis, how cool is this? Like how like interesting is this? Like shareable companion link, comparison link, companion link. So partner can see options, no ticket. And like, okay, let's just like try one thing. Is it possible as well to link to something like lovable with a prompt to lovable. Let's do Figma make. I mean, I don't know if I have Figma make, but I do have lovable. For the pain points or opportunities to open a new proto, I don't know if I'm doing this right, with a relevant prompt to solve the issue. I mean, that is just isn't the worst prompt engineering that you've ever seen. I promise that I'm really good at this. Okay. I love when it asks me questions. Makes me feel like so nice. Okay, so let's just like, gosh, I have to go so soon, but this is so exciting. I'm getting too into this stuff. This is why I'm like, I know that like there's a lot of like doom and gloom. I know that it's really scary, but there are so many cool things that we can do. So many cool things that we can do. Like I'm building all of this for my clients now. Like they are all getting interactive, like dynamic deliverables with like build, like connected. Oh God, I keep trying to get into Jira. It's just not gonna happen. Jira's like, no. You know, but we've come from this. No, well, we've come from the photos that I share, but from this to this, right? Okay. Oh, we're still going. I mean, I'm not surprised because that is quite a big ask. It might be a little bit too much for, because we have the roadmap on it too. I'm gonna pause because Sarah left the product. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Cool. That's actually a really good idea. And like we could tie these probably to metrics as well. Okay. Let's see if this works. I do have a Lovable account. So like, let's see if we can get into my Lovable account. All right. So okay, let me see if this, I mean like if this actually works. How interesting would that be? Oh, that's so sad. I was just so excited. No. Okay, let's see if I can do anything. I'm getting, oh my God, A404. This is like so bad when I open a link to Lovable to prototype. I mean, like I am not surprised, but I mean, but still, like how interesting could that be? Or like, you know, like opening something like in Figma Make, or like even opening like a PRD, or like imagine taking this and saying like having a button and being like generate a report, right? Like, I mean, like this is, it's just really cool. I think at least, that it is. Oh no, we're compacting. I don't have time to compact. I gotta go. Anyways, regardless of like the outcome of like that, but like look how interesting it is where we have come from that like super static journey map to something that is interactive, something that's dynamic, something that's starting to link to people's work, right? That can be like easily updated and is much more easily understood, like, and used by our stakeholders. When I showed you those photos of like the journey map that I had made, like I put those, this was like more in person before COVID, so like in-person work was very normal. I posted those everywhere. They were in the bathrooms, so people that would actually look at them. Like I had personas hung up in bathrooms at many companies that I worked in, because I was like, please pay attention to these, you know, like they were in the kitchen, like they were in meeting rooms, like they were everywhere. And like, how cool is it to now have this where I'm like, oh, well, there's actually something to interact with here. There's actually something that's helpful here. And like, we could even go obviously much further with this and be like, oh, how do we make it even more connected? Or like, of course, like, this is just me playing around. But like, how nice would it be to like then get feedback from our stakeholders on this kind of stuff and be like, and they're like, oh, we like this, we don't like this, or, you know, could you add in this? And like, from the point of view where we had to ask so many people to do stuff like this for us, like, we didn't have the power to do it, we didn't have the means to do it, we didn't have the resources to do it, and now we do. You know, like, this kind of stuff is more is like within our reach now, right? Like, it's actually within our reach. And that, like, so when I was 10 years old, like, I begged my dad for like a HTML for dummies because I used to code when I was younger. And like, this has just brought me back to that, and it's just so cool. Let's see if this actually works. Wow, this is so interesting. Now, this wouldn't work from the standpoint of, or I don't know, because I don't know like Lovable enough, and I also don't know Figma Make enough, but like, I'm not sure how well this would work from the standpoint of design systems and being consistent within that. So I don't know, I would have to see and like see if we could like okay, see what we could do, like, to apply like a blanket apply of like what that would then like look like, so that everything came out with like a certain design system with certain colors with like branding and so that that's not like an issue, right? I would have to see if that would even be possible, but still, like, you could still just generate the prompt. You could generate a designer brief that makes this very like straightforward. Then again, you could connect to like evidence, potentially like video clips and stuff like that. Oh, it just like, it feels like never ending. And speaking of which, this needs to end because I need to go. As much as I would love to, I don't know how long this is going to take. Also, I should not have done that because now I'm burning through the very few credits that I have on Lovable. And I am working on other stuff. But still, anyways, let's go back to this. Still, what I am just going to leave you with, try things. Try these things. Have fun. Experiment. Be creative. Like, go for it. You know, like, this is just so cool that we've just like created this from like a stupid photo that I've put in. Like, how neat is that? So try it, see how it goes. Let me know what you think. I will do a more in-depth like walkthrough on how to do this more properly with like proper prompt engineering and like really properly thinking about this, planning it out and all that jazz. But I thought that I would share this because I thought that it would be like kind of helpful and exciting too, right? Like, I just want people to get excited and have some fun. That's all I want. Anyways, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'm so sorry that Substack Live, if you were on there with me, that it wasn't working. It's such a bummer, but I will complain to Substack and let them know that it wasn't working. And then we will just go from there, and I will make sure next time that that doesn't happen. But thank you all for listening. If you have comments, questions, anything, just please let me know. And I will talk to you all soon. Thanks.